Jordan slams awful Abramovich impact in 583-word rant. Simon Jordan says outgoing Chelsea owner Roman Abramovich has been awful for English football. Abramovich announced he had put the club up for sale last week amid pressure following Vladimir Putin's invasion of Ukraine. Talks are said to be progressing with potential buyers, and the Russian oligarch is said to be hoping for a quick sale of the club he has owned for the last 2 decades. His ownership has seen Chelsea become the most successful English club in that period, but despite some hailing the impact of Abramovich on Premier League football, Jordan claims he was one of the worst things that could have happened to the English game. Last week people were attributing the evolution of the Premier League to Roman Abramovich, Jordan told TalkSport. With due respect, with the exception of Chelsea, Roman Abramovich was one of the worst things that could have happened to English football. We were on a direction of travel that was already upwards, our Premier League was already flying, we already had broadcasters throwing money at us, hand over fist. What you did, Chelsea, was you created hyperinflation. You might have broken up the duopoly, you might have stopped the powerhouses that were Manchester United and Arsenal for a period of time. That was going to happen anyway because ownership models were changing. What you did was change the landscape by making football so financially unviable for your own reasons. People look at these people buying football clubs like Man City, like Newcastle, like Chelsea, and look at the ownership. These people aren't buying these football clubs because they love the football clubs, they're buying them because they want to get a life insurance policy against political leanings. They want to sports wash, they want legitimate regimes like Newcastle, they want to have a situation where they own our English clubs and we sit there and think that's great, and the main beneficiaries of it are agents and players. What have we got now? A generation of players who have no character, no backbone, no substance, get paid far too much money. The immorality of football comes up for question, and I think it's a tragedy. I think it's a reality, and the lack of governance behind the game gives people like this the facility to be able to do this. Abramovich's legacy is what? For Chelsea? Fabulous. For football in this country? I think it's awful. Tragically, our biggest and most aspirational assets are our football clubs, and we're happy to let these people in to run our football clubs as long as they've got a big bag of money. So I sat on the sideline, sort of storing this up for this week, thinking, oh, the Premier League has been brought forward, all this crap I've been listening to. If it wasn't for Roman Abramovich, the Premier League would never be what it is. Nonsense. What did it do? What it did was it created hyperinflation, which has destroyed football. The championship is in absolute chaos, the EFL cannot keep up with the Premier League. The only beneficiaries have really been players and agents, no one's making more money, no one's getting anything more out of the game, the fans are seeing some type of better football, but they would have seen it anyway. Our powerhouse league would have superseded La Liga, would have superseded Serie A, it didn't need this kind of money to do it, and what it's done is brought about a vacuum in our game. Look at the way players behave now, look at the money these players are getting paid, look at the immortality of all that. You look at it and say, what did it actually bring? The game is getting further away from the fans, the cost implications of the game are getting greater, players are getting more control and less value. We're talking about Man United players who don't get the reality of playing, ironically, the most iconic football club in the world, and part of that is the financial landscape that was created by people like Roman Abramovich. Good riddance, bye-bye, next.